quick community reports, we'll go to our main presentations. Um, we've got two of those. So um, if anything gets confusing or doesn't make sense, please feel free to chime in. This is casual and we're, looking to get to know each other and get to know what's going on in the community. So I appreciate your time and patience if there are any tech glitches. Um, and I will turn it over to our first community report, which I've got here as Skyway Coalition, either Rebecca or Jeremy, to take it over.
All right, thanks, Ben. Hi, everybody. My name is Jeremy Williams, and I'll be giving the update on behalf of the Skyway Coalition. Um, for folks who are unfamiliar with the Skyway Coalition, it advocates for policies and funding that support anti-displacement strategies, affordable housing, and economic development. The Skyway Coalition works to support community-led development and growth that protects and strengthens our diverse community. Just a few updates. As Finn mentioned, the Skyway Coalition is hosting an affordable housing update event this Saturday, January 21st, at 5:30 p.m., Campbell Hill Elementary in the cafeteria. Dinner is going to be provided, and there will be door prizes. There is going to be several community partners who will share updates and offer opportunities for the community to support and lead important developments, which include affordable home ownership and rental options, as well as green space and land stewardship. The Economic Development Committee for Skyway Coalition is going to begin a contract with King County to guide in several business supports and capacity building opportunities. So Skyway Coalition will be hiring for several roles supporting that economic development work shortly. And finally, to find out more information about the Skyway Coalition's work, community leaders, and the impact in Skyway, you can visit the Coalition's webpage and sign up for the newsletter near the bottom of the page at skywaycoalition.org. Thank you all.
Thank you, Jeremy. Let's see, we should be able to drop in those links that Jeremy mentioned in the chat, but please be patient a little bit. And yeah, we hope to see folks. I hope to see folks there on Saturday. I plan to attend. Okay, so next up, we've got King County Local Services. Do we have John Taylor here this evening?
You do indeed.
Hi, John.
Good evening, everybody. Good to see everyone or your names on the screen. Lots going on as usual. There's no rest for the wicked, and I'm the wicked in that scenario. County budget passed Thanksgiving last year. And, I think generally as a department and as a county, we're in good shape. I think road services is in a good stable place. We added some positions, and those positions are targeted on traditionally underserved areas of the county. So more higher level of service for Skyway White Center, principally. There was another round of participatory budgeting funding. So folks may recall that in the last biennial budget, there was $10 million of funding for urban unincorporated King County, with the community making the decision about where those dollars would go. Skyway got, trying to remember the exact number, but around $3.4 million out of that 10 million. And that was a mix of capital dollars, meaning stuff that can go for buildings or other constructed things, and marijuana revenue that can go for anything. And we're in the process of, community made their choices about where those dollars should go. We're in the process of executing contracts. We're getting that money programmed into capital improvement plans. So probably at the next quarterly meeting, we'll have more detail on progress there, but we're making progress on getting that money out the door. And we are working on this next round of funding. And we're doing a little bit of co-creation work with community right now to figure out if there's a better way to engage community around how to spend that money, and are having conversations with the coalition and others about that. Jeremy alluded to the contract that we just, somebody needs to mute themselves. Jeremy alluded to the contract that we just executed with the White Center Community Development Association for funding that's going to go to unincorporated King County, but with a real focus on sort of traditionally underserved areas. So think White Center, Skyway. And I think you're going to start to see that play out in the community, which is a good thing. And there's a note. Oh, that's just to me. Sorry, I can never tell. I gotta be mindful of the fact that I'm not sure whether the people are IMing everyone or just me. The Department of Community and Human Services is doing some work around Brooks Village and a request for proposals to figure out how they're going to transfer that land. I don't have an update on that right now, but if anyone else does, they can jump in at the point in the program when they're giving presentations or updates. And then lastly, over Christmas, Warren Jimenez and I did kind of spent a day outside, which was good because I was sick as a dog. I got sick like 3 times over the holidays. I have no idea why. Wandering around Skyway looking at community center sites. And I think the discussions around the Skyway Bowl have kind of reached a bit of a stalemate between Parks and the owner of the Skyway Bowl. And so everybody's kind of considering their options there. And we, the county, are going to be looking at other sites and trying to figure out if there are alternate paths that we need to be looking at. And they have a request for proposal out to do sort of design and conceptual work with community around what that might look like. And so it's good that we're thinking about other places because I think we're going to need to think about a program on a number of different sites. That's probably everything I have. Those are my biggest updates. I might have forgotten something and I'll be here all evening. So if I remember something, I'll jump in. And if folks have questions, feel free to ask. And it's good to see everybody, as always.
Thank you very much, John. All right, and yeah, if the questions come in later on, we'll circle back. That's not a problem. Moving along to Cynthia and Skyway Water Service. Sorry, Skyway Water and Sewer.
Thanks, Finn. For anybody that I haven't met before or hasn't been to a meeting before, I'm Cynthia Lamoth, and I'm the general manager of Skyway Water and Sewer District. I've been in the community for several decades, working for the district for about 10 years. And I'll hit the high points. Like John, I'll be here for the rest of the meeting. So if there's things I've forgotten or questions you have, I can take those later. I'm happy to report that we're being very proactive with our capital improvement program and funding that. I think I reported at the last meeting that we received 2 Public Works Trust Fund loans from Department of Commerce for nearly $9 million. That was in October of 2021. This past November of 2022, we were awarded an additional loan for work down along Forest Avenue between Rustic and Oakwood to replace an old water main that needs help. We're also doing a billing system upgrade, moving into the 21st century. So you'll see that go live on February 1st. There'll be some options that are released to do electronic billing, how you would like to be contacted. If by some unfortunate chance we have a water main break, we can message out to people and let them know what's happening. I'm also happy to report that we were able to get a direct grant from Department of Commerce in the form of COVID assistance to offset customer water and sewer bills, something in the neighborhood of $54,000 that was applied to customer accounts. And that's about all I have for tonight.
Thank you, Cynthia. I actually have a question myself. First, I'm very excited though to not have to call in to pay my water bill anymore in the future. That's great news. But the $54,000 that helped to offset customer bills, was that via the kind of grant application that customers had to go through, or was it just by looking at need?
So some of both. So there were certain certifications that were required, but Department of Commerce interpreted that broadly, and so did we. So if someone had indicated that they had either had, due to COVID, a financial need, interruption of school, some other sort of adverse situation that arose, we were able to apply those funds to them. The unfortunate part is folks who had made payments during the worst part of COVID, and had a lower balance now than what they had at some previous time, we could not apply the funds and leave a credit on someone's account.
Hmm.
So the most that we could apply those funds to was what the current balance was.
Thanks for clarifying.
Sure.
Okay, I don't see any questions coming in right now, but we'll get back to you if we have any.
All right.
Next on the agenda is Chief Hicks, King County Fire District 20.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eric Hicks. I am your fire chief with King County Fire District 20, also known as the Skyway Fire Department. Since the beginning of the year, I'm going to talk a little bit about last year. We ended the year responding to 2,972 calls, or 8.1 calls per day for service, which is a 15% increase from the year before, so 2021. 2,271 of those calls were medical calls, medical in nature. There were about 15 minor fires. When I talk about minor, I'm talking about maybe food on the stove or a piece of paper that burned or something like that. But Skyway, our jurisdiction, did not suffer any major loss from a major structure fire, which in my years of being in the fire service, that's the first. So I was pretty happy about that. A coincidence or education is working? I don't know, we'll see this year. We're gonna be taking delivery of a new fire engine this year. We plan to receive it in February. It should go in service by May of this year, 2023. So we're excited about that. Our two current fire engines are 2004. So they're coming up to somewhat the end of their service life to be frontline fire engines, but they will be in our reserve fleet. Okay. We purchased, many of you may not know this, but we actually purchased the old liquor store, which is next door to the fire station, in 2019. We've had plans to renovate that building for quite some time now. And of course, COVID slowed that down. Our plans right now is to actually expand the current fire station, which means tearing that building down and adding on to the fire station. Right now, we're working with our architects and through the planning process and the permit process with the county. Once we get that stabilized and built, the plan is to see what are we going to do with the Bryn Mawr station, which is in Bryn Mawr. Right now, we have 2 pieces of apparatus. We're receiving a 3rd piece of apparatus. All that's going to be moved up to the top of the hill. All of our equipment and supplies. It just makes things more efficient when you talk about going down and picking up equipment from that other station that we may need, or supplies, which sometimes that happens 2 or 3 times a day. And it's just not efficient to be driving down all the way to Bryn Mawr to pick up equipment, exchange apparatus. So hopefully we'll get this built in the next couple of years, cross my fingers, and we'll see what we're going to do at the Bryn Mawr station. Recruiting, thanks to the great support of our community, we've been able to hire 2 new career firefighters. Those are additional FTEs to our crews. Our goal has always been to get the ACAR in service 24/7. We've always enjoyed having a robust volunteer program, but over the years, our volunteers, they come in, we train them for 5 months, and they get hired by other fire departments just as quick. So in the last 3 years, it's been very difficult and a challenge to maintain our volunteer staff. We will continue to recruit new volunteers, but the volunteers that we are currently, the candidates we're currently interviewing already have their certifications from other agencies or from other programs that they've been in, and we're bringing those folks in, and we don't have to spend a lot of money in overtime to get them trained up. They're coming in already trained, and we just kind of do a small training with them to get them up to speed of how we do things. So that's going on right now. I will put a link in the chat for WA Fire Careers. It's a multi-agency testing for fire departments who are actually actively hiring this year. Skyway is in that lineup. It'd be nice to get someone from the community like I was to get hired by Skyway. So that will be in the chat. You go through the testing process, you go through interviews, and of course, it depends on how you place it, how you interview, you end up on the list. I do a lot of coaching. So if you do have someone that's interested in the fire service, please send them my way. I do a lot of coaching with folks trying to get into the fire service that may not understand or know how to navigate the process. So feel free to give them my information or send them up to the fire station and ask for me. I do it all the time. And that is the end of my report. Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you, Chief Hicks. I don't see any questions coming in right now, but I'll ask a question.
Sure.
I guess I was curious if there's any information on why there was such an uptick in calls this year compared to last. And if that's a good thing or not a good thing.
Well, this is the way I kind of look at it. I can't pin it down to one thing other than our call volume actually decreased during COVID. Less people were calling 911 for various reasons, scared to go to the hospitals, scared to do a lot of things. During that time, if we didn't have COVID, our call volume would have increased by smaller increments anyway. So I think we're right where we were going to be if COVID would never happen, just that it would have been a tighter spread over the last 3 years. That is the only thing I can explain. Like I said, we didn't have any large structure fires in Skyway. We did respond to structure fires outside of Skyway because we do participate in a mutual aid program, automatic mutual aid. That's why sometimes you may see a Renton fire truck in Skyway, and sometimes you may see us down at Fred Meyer on Rainier Avenue or Rainier Avenue call, just because we all help each other.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay, next up, we kind of have 3 different presentations that are connected, but separate, all coming from the King County Sheriff's Office, starting with new storefront detective Michael Norris. So go ahead and take it away.
Can everybody see me?
Yes, we can.
All right. Vicky, you want to share the screen or do you want me to do it?
Vicki and I practiced before the meeting. She should be good to go.
All right, let's do it. So for those who didn't get a chance to meet me last week, I am Mike Norris, new detective at Storefront in Skyway. So anything community related or crime prevention related, I am all over it. If you have any questions or anything like that, I'll forward you guys my contact info. So basically for these meetings, my main thing is going to be giving you guys the stats, letting you know what's going on in the community. If you have any questions or about any specific crime or specific area, anything like that, we can always get down to more specifics if we need to. Myself and Vicky, and I see Deputy Wallace is in here as well. So go ahead, Vicky, do your thing.
It's not moving now, Finn.
Can you hit your forward arrow or click
Okay,
on it?
nothing's happening. Oh, there it goes.
There we go.
Needed you to
All right.
hear your voice.
So the part 1 crimes, just to break it down and keep it simple, these are the felonies, the more serious felonies. As you can see, we usually have an uptick around the holidays. That's pretty normal. We also kind of like fire, we dealt with the COVID things that also impacted numbers, but we're also a trendy thing. A big thing we had going on was the everyone stealing Kias and Hyundais and things of that nature. So we had a ton of stolen cars. Those have been the main things that we've been having. Go on to the next one, Vicky.
You guys make it sound like it's so easy. I'm hitting the button. Doesn't seem to want to move.
It might be that you need to click into that window. You might be clicked onto Zoom. So move your
Ah,
cursor over.
There you go.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So these are our part 2 crimes. Again, everything fluctuates based on time of the year, based on the trends, things of that nature. It's hard to just pinpoint one thing to blame it on. We have mostly been having, the main thing for part 2 crimes is usually theft from autos, car break-ins, things of that nature. Those usually contribute the most to these issues. Next slide, Vicky.
No.
Mike, actually, this is a good time. There's a question from Tina. Are the
Okay.
numbers on the charts you shared number of crimes per month?
So it's on there for every single month of last year. We haven't gotten we just got the stats for December that are also on there.
So each
I
of those
wasn't in a
points
position-
referred to 1 month.
Correct.
Tina, if you have a follow-up question, go ahead.
Vicky's
Nope,
killing me
that,
right
that
now.
was my question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So this is also for the month of December. You can see we had 44 total calls. And out of that 44, 14 of those were recovered stolens. So that's the majority of what we've been receiving. We've been having a ton of those. We've been finding a lot of people in stolen cars. We're at present moment trying to set up an emphasis to remove all stolen and abandoned vehicles in Skyway, just to try to clean up the area. We probably have at least 20 cars that are just abandoned right now. They're just inoperable. They can't be moved at all. We've seen weeds growing out of things. Just a lot of complaints we're getting about those. So we're trying to remove those, but also let people know that it's not a safe place to dump their vehicles or their stolen vehicles and things of that nature. This is November. As you can see again, 52 calls total in Skyway. Out of that 52, 20 were stolen. So that's the main issue we're having crime-wise, and we're trying to get that down. Give us a little time to get everything approved. Hopefully this emphasis will get approved pretty quickly, and then I can get some deputies in here to try to narrow it down. Right now, that is the main issue we are having in Skyway.
If I could speak to Michael's point, Detective Norris is saying that basically those are the calls that require a police report. We have more calls. We probably have much closer to what the fire department has in a month. These are the calls that get up an actual police report. All right, are we ready for Khalil?
Yeah, Wallace, you want to add on to that?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, Khalil, it
Okay.
does sound like it might be a little choppy. So if you turn off your video, the sound may be better.
Let me see. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hi, guys. I'm Deputy Wallace with the King County Sheriff's Office. I work in the Southwest Precinct, also with Detective Norris and our CSO here. I work primarily in the Graves, so I'm working late nights. So I really joined so I can spread awareness about this project that I'm currently working on. And the project involves providing a traffic emphasis along Rainier Ave South. So far, we've started the project. We've provided visibility to the area because the main complaint was that a lot of people who live along that our jurisdiction of Rainier Ave South say that they feel like there's not enough of a police presence and they don't really see enough police officers up and down Rainier Ave. And there's a lot of vehicles speeding, there's vehicles doing all kinds of stuff. So the project was initially it was to provide visibility along that area. So far, we have been doing that. And I've also seen that there could be some improvements to the road along Rainier Ave South, since there is a lot of traffic coming through there. One of the things that I've submitted a request for to King County Roads is to get improved signage on South 113th and Rainier Ave South for that crosswalk. So I'm hoping that I could get back from Roads and see if they can get some improved signage, because it looks like the signs there are, it's just a crosswalk and a big yellow blinking sign that says crosswalk. So I'm hoping that we can get some of the fancy ones that has the lights blinking on both sides when someone tries to cross the road.
Khalil, you do have
And I've also,
a question just to clarify where that crosswalk is that you're talking about. Is it Rainier Avenue South or Renton Avenue South?
Rainier Avenue South.
Are there any landmarks that you could help to
It is right at where South 113th and Rainier Ave South meet. There's a little crosswalk right there.
Looks like it's next to Cafe and Deli.
Yes.
Oh, next to Winnie's? Is that?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so the crosswalk there, I'm hoping to get some improved signage there. And I'm also hoping that we can also get another speed measurement device sign for traffic heading southbound on Rainier Ave South. There's a few signs already there for northbound lanes. So yeah, I'm hoping to get that. So that request has already been submitted to King County Roads. I'm just waiting to hear back from them. And I've also reached out to community members who live along Rainier Ave South and just kind of letting them know, hey, this is what I plan on doing. If you guys have any input, feel free to reach out to me and I'll be glad to see if we can, work something. And that is pretty much it for my emphasis. I'm hoping that, that the community gets involved, and if they would like to see any more improvements to the road, you guys could reach out to us and let us know. And also, if there's any more complaints along Rainier Ave South about speeding or vehicles passing through. So far, we've provided visibility, and it looks like it's somewhat working. Some drivers have been cited for various traffic violations. I'm hoping to continue to work this.
Thanks, Khalil. It looks like there might be a question or two. Anthony, do you want to go ahead and ask your question?
Yeah, this is a quick question about the 87th and 119th. Looks like there was a major sinkhole there. I don't know if you were aware of that. They put a steel plate on that road. Yeah, 119 on 87th.
Okay. Is it a sinkhole in like the middle of the road, or it's on?
Yeah, it's in the middle of the road. It looked like they put a plate on it, but I didn't know how serious it was.
I can speak to that, Finn.
Oh.
Go ahead, Cynthia.
Yeah, so what we've got is a small breakage in the sewer line at that location. Our crews were out last week. King County Roads responded initially, contacted us. And so our crew's been out there investigating, and that's the reason it's plated. We were going to have another agency help us with a sewer camera, and we expect to either be out there again tomorrow or Thursday.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you, Cynthia.
You're welcome.
Is there another question?
I think that those were the two hands I had seen. Oh, from Facebook, there is a question. It's coming through. Just give it a moment. Linda, Cassie is wondering, what does it take, quote unquote, to get a crosswalk sign or light? Is there a specific count of pedestrians needed, or can you speak to that?
That's more of a me question than a sheriff's office question. Generally speaking, what we'll do is look at if it's a high accident location, if there have been things that have occurred there that would warrant putting in a crosswalk or a safety light. Sometimes we will go out and do traffic counts, and if there's a high volume of traffic, that always influences roads thinking around this. But if you are interested in a particular location, just put in the chat the address, and I can have roads. I'll put in a work order tonight, and roads will send out a traffic engineer to look at it. And just
Okay.
put your contact info in the chat. And I'll put my email in there if you just want to email me, whatever works for whoever is for Linda.
Yeah, this is from Facebook, so maybe it would be helpful, John, if you want to put your email address again into the chat box, and we'll make sure it gets onto
Yep, I'll do that. I'll do
that.
that.
And then there is another question from Neri Ram. On Renton Avenue, cars are always passing on the opposite lane. Are there any plans to monitor that area more closely?
I will take that one. We have not had a lot of complaints or any major accidents happening over there. If we need to monitor it, we can. It's pretty easy to just have our deputies focus on specific areas if we're having things going on that we don't know about. I can check the area out and also pick up the stats from the area and see if there's been things that we're missing, and if there are issues that are going on, we can monitor that as well.
Yeah, and maybe this would just be helpful for folks to know, is there like a general email address to send any traffic concerns to, whether it's about pedestrians or cars, so that it gets to the right hands?
I will put my email in the chat, and I'll make sure it gets where it needs to go.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
There's also the option of online reporting. So if you felt like you wanted to make an online report, you can do that at the King County Sheriff.gov site, or you can make a phone call if it's easier to the non-emergency line, and I can provide both of those during the meeting.
Great. Yeah, that sounds good, Vicki. If you want to drop those in after you do your next bit of presenting. Any further questions for Khalil or Detective Norris? I'm sorry, Khalil, I don't know your title.
Oh, it's just deputy.
Deputy Khalil. Thank you.
Ever just.
Also, if you guys are having any community events, we're trying to be as a part of the community as possible. So feel free to let us know what you got going on. We'll have some people stop by, give a friendly face.
Thank you. All right, Vicki, I think we're ready for you if you want to share your screen again.
All right, let's try this again. You guys see how impaired I am about this. I'm showing you all of my flaws. All right, it's saying host disabled participant screen sharing. I have been disabled.
Oh, okay. Jeremy should be able to just fix that in a moment.
That's fine. I'm going to basically discuss the Community Advising Board. So this is a brand new community group that the Sheriff's Office is trying to get started. They want to have, I believe, 13 to 14 community members from all over King County. I would love to see someone from Skyway obviously represent this community. It is a panel that is focused on advising both the executive Dow Constantine and the sheriff on any matters of law enforcement and policing. They are looking for a very diverse population. They're looking for voices from every community. They want to, basically, if you think you have the voice for this, your voice could be discussing public safety, law enforcement practices, and also helping to, bring your community into the discussion. They are trying to obviously develop trust, just like Detective Norris said. We really want to be in the community. We want people to know us as people, because, behind every great shiny badge is a human being. And we really do think that King County Sheriff's Office has some of the best, and I think we represent really well. So we want to share all those treasures with the community.
The best, Vicki, the best.
So I think this is a great opportunity for that. So I really implore anybody who might know somebody that wants to do this. The slide will be up. The deadline to apply for the positions is January 31st, which is why it's sort of critical to get that messaging out now. I know we posted it on the front of our building on Renton Avenue South and right across from the library is where we're located. It's also online. It's also on the West Hill Community Association page, and I think their Facebook page as well. So if anyone has any questions, happy to answer any.
Great, and you should be able to share the poster now if you want to show that.
Okay. There it is. This was put together by Manny Apostle, who I saw was on the call here a second ago. So there's his handiwork. So there's all the information that you would need in order to apply. And again, what a great opportunity for somebody to really represent Skyway and Bryn Mawr. I think would be fabulous. So
yeah. Cynthia has a question about what the time commitment would be if you're a part of this advisory board.
And I wonder if Manny is on here, if he wants to chime in on that. I don't have specific details about that. I don't really.
Hi, everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. Let me check to see what I have because I've got my notes here and let me see here. Bear with me, please.
While Manny's checking that, I just wanted to suggest Vicki maybe also posting this flyer on the community kiosks that are by Campbell Hill and Nevzat's Coffee is the closest landmark I can think of.
Okay.
And it would be helpful to also have the, if there's a URL that goes with this flyer, we can help promote it more, but we can touch base about that offline.
Okay.
And Manny, if you're ready, go ahead and interrupt, but there is a, yes, go ahead. And then we'll circle back to a Skyway Water Sewer question.
Okay, so from what I am reading is we're looking for folks from the Sheriff's Office service area. Meetings will likely be for about 90 minutes and will be every other month to start. Ideally, we will have both an in-person and virtual options for meetings. So if you are interested, we would need a letter of interest. Individuals interested in serving on the board should submit a letter of interest explaining their desire and qualifications for serving on the board. They should identify in their letter which of the membership categories identified they represent. And just to let everybody know, the email address to submit this to would be sheriff@kingcounty.gov. So, and we forward that over to our chief of staff. So, and we're really like looking for folks that, you know, personify our communities, you know, obviously representation matters. So we would love to get as many folks interested as possible.
Thank you,
It takes a
Manny.
team here, the King County Sheriff's Office, working for you.
I love all this collaboration happening, you know, in our virtual Zoom meeting. It's great. And Vicki, does that conclude kind of your portion there?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great, thanks. We're gonna circle back because we got a question in from Malik Baz, and it's for Cynthia, if you're still available. Great. How do we get funding to expand basic sewer availability to the Skyway area?
So, hi Malik, how are you doing this evening? He and I have spoken before. I didn't want to speak out of turn on this, but I believe King County is starting an effort to connect people that are on septic or other unsewered areas to public sewer. They're doing a pilot program, and John, if I should stop or if you want to take over, feel free. They've started a pilot project to provide money to urban unincorporated areas. And so Skyway is one of two organizations that submitted an application. There's no contract yet, but it's grant money that would be available to areas to start that process. And the only reason I didn't bring it up before is because a contract has not been signed, and so nothing is certain at this point. John, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, I know enough about this to be dangerous. So I'm going to let you do all the talking. I'm going to stop right there.
So I can give the basics. The county put out a request for proposals to award 2 $1 million grants for urban unincorporated areas that are on septic. So we applied. It appears we've been awarded a grant. There's a few questions. We're having a meeting next week with King County staff. And I was hoping to be able to make some sort of a positive announcement at the next quarterly meeting. And we're excited about this.
Great, thank you, Cynthia, and thank you, Malik, for asking that question. Okay, I think we're ready to move along to Miss Ayana Brown with updates from Olajuwon's Hands. Okay, and if she's not there right now, then we'll just move on and come back. Oh, there
I'm
you
here.
are.
You called my name just as I was shoving food in my face.
We can give you a few minutes if you want. We
No,
could.
I'm fine.
You're ready? Okay.
Happy New Year, everyone. Some backstory information about Olajuwon's Hands. 2022 for Thanksgiving, that was our first full return of in-person return to serving our meal. So that was in collaboration with Renton School District right there at Tally High School. When we took the demographic information, we discovered that the services spanned 26 different zip codes. And that's just the ones who signed in. There were still some who didn't, and that did not include the volunteers. So just those who came out to partake in the meal. Our outreach spanned 26 zip codes. We also did, we have added an event called Olajuwon's Bundles of Love, and that was a coat giveaway, and that was in conjunction with the storefront. Miss Vicky, thank you. That was in conjunction with King County Sheriff's Office, Skyway storefront office. There were over 200 brand new coats given away at that event. And there were also a few pairs of shoes that were given out. And then we also hosted, for the second year in a row, the first time in over 2 decades, Olajuwon's Bridge Shop at the Cop. And again, that was in conjunction with Olajuwon's Hands and King County Sheriff's Office. I applied for 2 different grants. Those 2 grants allowed 80 children to be able to go shop at the Cop. And the meaning behind Olajuwon's Bridge Shop at the Cop is multi-dimensional. First of all, bridging, right? So bridging together law enforcement and the community. I have gotten positive feedback from both sides. Some of the law enforcement members were telling me that, got my hair all over the place. Some of the law enforcement members were telling me that it felt good to be seen as just a person and not with somebody, as with a gun and a badge. And same thing with with the kids. It felt good to be able to just be a person. While we were at in the middle of the event, another lady saw what we were doing, and she donated $100 right on the spot for another kid. So there were a total of 81 kids who were able to go shopping. And then we also had a private citizen that donated an additional $1,000 in $25 gift card increments. And she labeled that as elf money. So there are kids who were shopping and they were buying everything for everybody except for themselves. Some of those kids were putting household toiletries in the basket. Some were buying groceries. Or again, if it wasn't that, it was still stuff for their families. And so when the kids were shopping, there was no limit to what they could spend that money however they wanted to. But for those kids who were buying groceries and toilet paper and toothpaste and deodorant and stuff like that, they got an additional $25 in elf money. Now, there was a stipulation on that money, and that was that they spend that solely on themselves, whatever that was. So, and then Walmart. So it was, please forgive me. It was a collaboration between Elijah One's Hands, King County Sheriff's Department, the Skyway storefront, and the Renton Walmart. And so us three collaborated together and pulled that off. Walmart also made up little goodie bags for each kid who came in, completely unexpected, and it was just an awesome thing. So that's moving forward. Those are two added things that Elijah One's Hands will be doing. Will be the Bundles of Love Shop at the Cop, the Bundles of Love coat giveaway, and the Elijah One's Bridge Shop at the Cop. And now moving into 2023, the first agenda is April 29th, which is, of course, the anniversary of Elijah One's passing. For the past couple of years, that has turned into what I'm calling a one-stop shop. It has been everything from vaccines to bystander CPR training, WIC, Metro, you name it, it's been there. And that has been really, really good. There's been a lot of collaborations with that as well. Again, King County Fire District 20, Health Point, UW, King County Metro, WIC, King County Health Department. I don't want to keep calling names. Know that it has been for
Are other folks
process
having?
of getting that together. And
Are others also having a hard time hearing right now? Okay. Ms. Ayana, we were hearing you just fine until about 30 seconds ago. If you want to try turning off your video so that we can maybe hear your voice better.
is this better?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Can somebody please tell me what was the last thing that
Yes,
was
you
heard?
were listing off organizations that had partnered with you for the Elijah One's Hand event, one-stop shop in the past, like Metro and King County Fire 20. That's where we last heard you.
I love you too. Okay, so we love you too. Be careful. We're gonna do that again. We're in the process of doing that again. And so we're excited. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback on that. And the turnout has been just amazing. And we want to keep that going.
Great, thank you. Really inspiring to hear all the updates happening, that Olajuwon's Hands is working with others to make happen. So thank you. Also, just wanted to make sure you saw, Miss Ayana Brown, that there was a shout out from Manny, wanting to thank you so much for bringing our local families joy with all you did with Shop with a Cop. So thank you. Okay. I don't see any questions in there for Miss Ayana. So anything else to share, or should we move along? Okay, I think we're good. All right, so the next update is actually, I'll be sharing the update. It's from April Delchamps. She is with King County. Let me find her official title. And I'm sharing an update related to the SR 900, let's see what SR 900 target corridor study. So give me just a moment. Okay, so the SR 900 targeted corridor study report has been updated to incorporate feedback on the proposal and to add details on the new complete streets requirement. The feedback focused on the roundabout at South 129th Street, the location of the new protected pedestrian crossing near Creston Point Apartments, and the need to move the existing westbound bus stop for routes 101 and 102 to be near the existing eastbound bus stops. Additional details on new complete street requirements can be found at this link that I will drop in right now. Then a second update from April is that a request for $1 million was submitted for consideration by the Connecting Communities Pilot Program, CCPP. The request is for design for the first phase, which includes bicycle and pedestrian facilities on the north side of SR 900, pedestrian-focused improvements on South 129th Street, a new traffic signal at South 133rd Street, and the new pedestrian crossing serving Creston Point Apartments, coupled with the relocation of the westbound bus stop. This phase does not include a roundabout at South 129th Street. The Washington Department of Transportation, WSDOT, submitted a report proposing a year one project list for funding in 2023. And WSDOT requested legislative approval for $12 million in funding for 12 of these CCPP Connecting Communities Pilot Program projects, including $1 million for the SR 900 Active Transportation Improvements Project. And that report can be found at the link that I'm about to drop in. And so unfortunately, I can't answer any questions related to this, but if you do have any questions or comments that you'd like to share with April, she is the planning manager of the Management of Mobility Division with the Washington State Department of Transportation. And I'm going to drop in her contact information right now. Oh no, I've been only messaging one person. Let me just fix that. And that is an update on the SR 900 corridor study. Okay. We have one more community update before going into our main presentations, and that is Randy Matheson with the Renton School District. Randy, are you with us? He was saying he had some tech issues. So let's see if he's in our participant list. Yes. Okay. Randy, we can circle back to you. And we will go on to our main presentations. We have two main presentations, one from Jeff Brown with Friends of Dead Horse Canyon, followed by Kathleen from Homestead Community Land Trust. So Jeff and actually Cody from Seattle Public Utilities. Cody, now would be a great time if you wanted to share a little background information with folks.
Hi there. My
Great,
name is
thank
Cody
you.
Nelson. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great. I'm the project manager for Seattle Public Utilities Taylor Creek Restoration Project, and I'm just gonna quickly introduce the project before Jeff speaks. SPU is planning improvements to Taylor Creek, which is located near Lake Ridge Playfield and Lake Ridge Park in Southeast Seattle. Our project seeks to address localized flooding and sediment deposition by restoring the natural drainage system of Taylor Creek, removing fish passage barriers and improving natural habitat, and also increasing equitable community access to open space in Southeast Seattle. This project originally started many years ago as a culvert replacement project at Rainier Avenue South, with improvements to the creek and fish habitat all the way down to the shoreline at Lake Washington. 2 years ago, SPU decided to address the sediment and erosion issue in Dead Horse Canyon rather than with a previously proposed sediment pond. So SPU has developed and shared 3 options to address sediment and erosion with large woody materials in the canyon. We've received concerns from the community regarding impacts from SPU's recommended option, which would have included a temporary access road into the canyon and resulted in removal of hundreds of trees. We have since removed this option from consideration and are beginning to identify other community-supported ways to address the sediment and erosion issue in the canyon. And I'm looking forward to presenting more on this project at the April meeting.
Thank you, Cody. We kind of called on Cody last minute, so we appreciate your flexibility. Okay, Jeff, go ahead.
Thank you, Cody. If you don't know about Dead Horse Canyon, it's part of the Lake Ridge Park, and it is a beautiful gem of a restored forest that runs from behind the pizza place down on Rainier, then up through the canyon. And if you've never been there, you really owe it to yourself to go. The canyon, just a bit of history on the canyon. It was logged in prior to 1915 by the Taylor Creek Logging Company. And it was just left to revegetate on its own without much human work. And so what is there now is a mature 100-year-old forest that provides a great deal of habitat for all kinds of birds and animals and a lot of opportunity for enjoyment by our community. It's a City of Seattle park, this is a City of Seattle project in the Seattle park. But as a West Hill community member myself, we enjoy the park also, and it's a great community resource. The park itself was created in 1995 when Public Utilities replaced the existing sewer line that runs through the park with a new one, much more durable and so forth. And that runs basically beneath the trail. So if you walk up the trail, you're walking over a sewer line, and you can see that in some places where there's been some sloughing. When the park was created, Friends of Dead Horse Canyon got together, and our purpose was to remove garbage and debris from the canyon and to restore the canyon to its natural state. So for the last 25 to 27 years, our members have been pulling weeds, dragging garbage, and replanting with native plants throughout the canyon. In that time, we've put in more than 18,000 hours of work. And if you walk through the trail up the canyon, much of what you see in terms of restored forest has been done by the Friends of Dead Horse Canyon. We got involved with this issue when we learned that Seattle Public Utilities was planning to build a road through the canyon. And our work with Seattle Public Utilities started out to be quite adversarial, but with time and persistence and some help from elected officials, as Cody mentioned, they removed the first option, which was to build a road all the way through the canyon, all the way through the trail, in order to place these woody material barriers in the canyon. They've since pulled that option. What remains is an option for hand-carried wood to be carried into the canyon to build these structures that they need to build. And then the third option is a road halfway through the canyon. So up to the boardwalk, if you're familiar with the trail, up to and across the boardwalk, that's where the road would be. And that option is still under consideration, though not prioritized at the moment as we search for other options. But we really do object, we Friends of Dead Horse Canyon really do object to any new road building in the canyon. We're concerned that even the halfway road will still result in damage or destruction of approximately 200 trees. These are trees bigger than 6 inches in diameter, so many more trees and plants smaller than that. And among those trees, there are quite a few trees that are 100 years old. And this will certainly impact the carbon storing capability of the canyon, of the forest, and also the cooling capability of the forest to cool the stream and to cool the people that use the park and the trail in the summertime. What will remain if this road is built is a clear cut, 12-foot wide road with 6 feet on either side for buffer zones. So you're talking about a 24-foot wide, at least 24-foot wide clear cut all the way up halfway up the canyon. And we're concerned with the loss of that forest. We also are concerned that SPU in that option does have a plan to revegetate this clear-cut area, but it will be generations before anything like the beautiful canyon we enjoy today comes back, and that is if the revegetation efforts are successful. We, Friends of Dead Horse Canyon, have been planting plants in that canyon for decades, and only in the last 2 years have we had to water the plants that we plant to try to save them. In 2022, of course, we had that record drought all the way through the summer. And in 2021, we had the heat dome, which really severely impacted a lot of the vegetation in the park, not just the new plants that we planted, but we're finding approximately 90% die off the last couple of years of the plants that we put in the winter die over the summer because of the severe weather. And so we are concerned that, you know, even with their best effort, public utilities may fail at their revegetation efforts. And when you're giving up a 100-year-old forest, what you're giving up is a lot of habitat for the animals that live there and the birds that live there. Not just the trees and the plants there, but also the snags, which are, you can see walking up the canyon, you can see the places where the woodpeckers have beaten holes in the snags that are now squirrel habitat, or other birds live there, and that will all be removed as well. And we feel that will, you know, drive a lot of the animals that are in the canyon away, and there won't be any place for them to come back to once it's done. Also, of course, we're concerned that the humans that use the park will, well, lose, as I've talked about, lose the beautiful shady forest experience that we have now. And also during the would-be construction and removal of this road, the park would be closed to us for many months at a time over a period of several years. And that's an impact on the community that we think is too dramatic to put up with, frankly. But I have to say that we have been very encouraged now that we've been working with public utilities over the last year and a half or more that they have removed option 1, that they've deprioritized the other road option, and they've invited us to join them and Parks in an effort to identify a new sediment management strategy that will meet their needs and will not require a road through the park. So the future is looking brighter and brighter, and I have to say thank you to Cody and her team for being open to us and for joining us in now, which started out as an adversarial relationship, to a much more collaborative relationship, and we look forward to the future. I would just a couple of asks for the audience out there. First of all, I have to say that our local elected officials were instrumental in helping move public utilities in our direction and help us to connect with them in this collaborative relationship. Councilmember Zahilai, even though this is not a King County project, King County has a lot to do with it, because the stormwater that is creating all the sediment is originating much of it in King County. So we need King County's help. And Councilmember Zahilai was very, very helpful in getting us connected with the right people at City of Seattle government. And also, if you live in Seattle, in Seattle boundaries, your council member, Tammy Morales, was also very, very helpful to us. And if you're inclined to write to your elected officials, and this is an opportunity for you to write and not complain, but to thank them for their help, for moving this process along, and to ask them for their continued monitoring of this project and to support Friends of Dead Horse Canyon in the future in our efforts to come up with a solution along with Seattle Public Utilities and King County Public Utilities. Let's see. Also, if you haven't been to the canyon, please, visit it. It is a wonderful place. And the last thing I would like to mention is that Friends of Dead Horse Canyon has our work parties every third Saturday of the month throughout the year. We start at 9 a.m. down at the parking lot at the head of the trailhead. If you don't know where that is, you go to the pizza. It's Pulcinella Pizza down on Rainier Avenue. Take a left on 68th or right, depending upon where you're coming from. Go down 68th and you will drive right into the parking lot. And that's where we meet. And if you would like the opportunity to get your hands and feet dirty and meet some really nice people and do something really good for our community, please join us. Oh, and also for updates on this project, you can go to friendsofdeadhorsecanyon.org, where we have updates and you can look into our activities. And I think we also have a link there to Seattle Public Utilities Taylor Creek Restoration website, where they will be posting updates as we go along. So I think that just about covers it. And thanks again to Cody for starting this off. You did a much better job of kind of setting up the overall view of the project than I could have. So, and thank you for West Hill Community Association and Finn for inviting us to make our presentation.
Great, thank you, Jeff and Cody. Good to hear always when, community and utilities can work together in positive ways and come up with solutions that are better for everyone. So with that, we have our second main presentation from Kathleen from Homestead. So I'll let you take it away. If any messages pop up, Cody or Jeff will circle back. Oh, hold on. Maybe Kathleen, do you mind holding on a moment? Okay, from Linda.
If you can let me share my screen I'll get that ready.
Yes. Jeremy, are you able to give Kathleen sharing permission while I read this comment from Linda Cassie? I attended the walking tour of Taylor Creek last August with many neighbors of both Lakeridge and Upper Rainier Beach. There have been other presentations about this situation, and I'm grateful we can communicate with SPU about this very precious green space going forward. Thanks for your comment, Linda. All right. Kathleen, are you able to share your screen?
One moment, please.
Okay.
I'm sharing the pictures of everybody on the screen instead of.
Okay, so when you.
There we go.
Yep.
Okay, now I can do it. All right. So thank you, everybody. This is such a wonderful community meeting. I wish I had this in my neighborhood. I'm the executive director at Homestead Community Land Trust, and I'm going to just quickly remind you what a community land trust is and what our relationship is with the Skyway West Hill area. A community land trust is a membership-based nonprofit organization that acquires and uses land to benefit low and moderate income people in neighborhoods. And we focus primarily on housing. Homestead focuses exclusively on home ownership opportunities. And community land trusts are social innovations that come down to us from the civil rights era leaders of the 1960s who trusted in the security of community ownership of land to prevent displacement of vulnerable people and to create home ownership opportunities for lower income households. There's a wonderful story about them available. If you're interested, just let me know and I'll point you in the direction. We focus on home ownership, and we focus on home ownership for this reason. Home ownership in King County is out of reach of ordinary people, let alone lower income people. These numbers are out of date. The home prices have gone up since this time, but they've also dropped back down a little bit. So I just continue to show the 2014 to 2021 numbers. But you can see there that home prices have increased 72%, while incomes supposedly have increased 31%. I don't know about you, but my income didn't increase 31% between 2014 and 2021. But according to HUD, the general income in the area increased that much. But you can see the median home prices diverging. That's that blue line. You can see that diverging from the median income and what a median income household can afford. And then down here is the gray line that shows what people who are teachers or firefighters, first responders, that type of thing, what they can afford. And you can see the, $400,000 plus $500,000 difference in what's affordable and what's available. That's the problem we exist to solve. And so we've got, various median home prices in King County, Seattle, Bellevue, but the homes that we build and make available to income qualified households are priced in the range of $240,000 to maybe $330,000 at the most. We are home builders, so we are building new construction. We will rehab existing homes when they're available at the right price point, but that hasn't been a model that works in the current high cost market lately. We go out and we fundraise so that we can subsidize the price down to what is affordable to the people that we serve. And then the land under homes is owned by the trust while owners own the structures and the improvements on the land, and they lease the land from us for a small monthly fee. In exchange for an opportunity to buy far below market rates, our homeowners participate in paying that affordable price forward to the next income qualified buyer. They sell at when they go to sell their home, they sell at a formula price that allows them to build equity. We wouldn't do home ownership if there wasn't a way to build equity, but that not so much of an equity gain that the home is unaffordable to the next income qualified household. We've brought all kinds of homes into trust. We've had scatter site single family homes. We've built townhomes in Renton and in the central district of Seattle. We've got some really beautiful cottage style duplexes we're building in Tukwila, and we're going to be building some condos. So we do all types of housing. And we have a partnership with the community of Skyway, West Hill. We have a memorandum of understanding with the Skyway Coalition to work with them to create affordable home ownership that prioritizes current and former Skyway residents. So the people of your community, and a special emphasis on lowering barriers to BIPOC buyers who have been shut out of ownership historically and also by current systemic inequities. But that's not all we've agreed to do. We've agreed to, as we build those homes, make sure that economic development opportunities stay in the local community. There's a program that the Skyway Coalition is putting together to build the capacity of smaller contractors so that they can participate in affordable housing contracts like ours. Community-driven environmental stewardship is another part of our shared plan to go forward, and I'll tell you an exciting part of that in just a minute. And then we also have as an important goal documenting how we work together, how an established nonprofit organization works with a community coalition to achieve homeownership, because it's a model that is equitable in its nature, but it's not known how to do that. So we are plowing some new ground together, and we want to document that so that we can share that with other communities that would like to do the same. Our big shared project and the place where all of that is going to come together is the Brooks Village project. And we are seeking to secure the Brooks Village surplus property for homeownership and green space and urban agriculture. This picture shows where the Brooks Village site is, and then there's an overlay of kind of our preliminary planning for the location on top of the satellite image. We will provide homeownership opportunities for both income qualified folks, but also for folks in the income category just above that, through having what we call market rate homes. We will also utilize community preference policies to prevent or repair displacement that's occurred. Community preference policies give people in communities that can show that they have community ties to the area, puts them at the head of a line in terms of being considered to purchase homes. Here's just a quick picture of how we imagine the Brooks Village site is largely undevelopable land. It's green space that also needs some of the love that I heard the Friends of Demarest Canyon lavishing on that area. We can't build homes on that. It's a wetlands, and we want to preserve it as green space for the community. But in the middle, you can see the homes that are planned for what we can build upon. It's an extremely visionary project of 55 homes, combination of primarily townhomes, but one building of stacked flat condominium homes, so that we have homes that are accessible to seniors and also to persons with physical disabilities. And you can, on this diagram, is one idea for what we could do with the green space. This spring, there will be the beginning of a community engagement process run by the coalition to get the community engaged in deciding how you want to program the green space site. So we're looking forward to, we had the opportunity to sit in community over about a period of a year to imagine what the housing would look like, and now the process is starting for the green space. The biggest first hurdle, and John Taylor mentioned this or alluded to this in his remarks, is that we have to compete for the land. The land is not just being given to the community of Skyway, although we would have preferred that. So we will be going through an RFP process. We've been told that that will be designed and offered by the end of first quarter now, 2023. We expect there to be a decision in that RFP process by the end of second quarter. So by June, then we need to go to work to fundraise to subsidize the price of the homes. We expect that to take about a year. The community green space will be going on this spring and into summer. And we'll meet up with our planning for the site in this summer. And there will also need to be some fundraising for the green space as well. There's, I think, some similar culvert restoration or replacement needs to take place, and habitat restoration. I believe there's rumored to be a beaver that lives in the green space. We want to make sure that we don't displace the beaver. So we'll, all of that is important work to do to preserve that green space for the community as much as we create housing for the community. So I think that's what I have to share, and would love to answer questions from all of you as you have them. Oh, I also have, sorry, I was going to drop in the chat. If you want to know a little bit more about, I gave you the really fast presentation on a community land trust homeownership. There's a little longer one at the link that I just dropped in the chat. And then also, if you'd like to stay in touch with us, please sign up for our newsletter.
Thank you very much, Kathleen. Just to read out 2 comments that came in as you were presenting, and we can also take a few questions if there are any. Jeff Brown shared that the wetland that is adjacent to Brooks Village site is the headwaters of the West Fork of Taylor Creek, where Dead Horse Canyon is. So there is real connection between those areas. And Beth shared that this is a beautiful visionary project and partnership for the community. So exciting. Thank you, Kathleen. And then you have the links that you dropped in there. So thank you very much. Any questions coming through? I guess my one question is, you said that there would be some homes reserved for market rate, which is one level above the income qualifications, but why is that part of the mix? Why not make it all for the folks who need it the most?
Income qualified folks. Well, let's put it this way. If we could get that much public subsidy for the project, we would do that. Generally speaking, although we have been asked to allow some of the homes to be that next income rung up, because that fits a gap that market rate homeownership doesn't offer. Our preference would be to do as many permanently affordable homes as possible. The challenge for us is this is one of the largest homeownership projects that's been proposed. We need to do it all in one phase. And the funding environment for affordable homeownership is very challenging, especially when you get outside of the city of Seattle. And Valerie's with us, and John Taylor's still with us, and I'm going to say something about funding levels for homeownership at the county that I don't want to be interpreted negatively, but there are very limited amounts of funding for affordable home ownership at the King County level, and that leaves really only state funding that we can apply for. And we need more than state funding to make these homes affordable. So developers like ourselves will take some minority portion of the homes out of site and do what we call mixed income. We'll do some at market rate, because we'll take whatever profit we would have made and we'll put it into subsidizing the affordable unit. So that's it's an internal form of subsidy where we're using the people's ability to pay on some of the homes to fund the lower cost homes. That makes sense?
Yes, thank you for sharing that. And I just went in to sign up for the newsletter, and I don't know if it's too early, but there's no checkbox for Brooks Village yet.
Okay.
For signing up for the Brooks Village info. But thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Okay, we have another question from Malik Baz. Can you speak to how this helps or does not help build generational wealth compared to buying a home via conventional means? What type of equity can a family build with these homes?
Yeah. So, so in our home buyer workshops, when we get to the point of talking about the restrictions on equity gain in our homes, we always just say, look, if you can buy on the market, do it, because you will participate in the full appreciation of your home and you will build more wealth. No question. The challenge is most people can't afford that. And they need a strategy to go from renting to market rate ownership if that's what they choose. And so a community land trust home gives you an affordable housing payment that works within your budget, and it allows you to build equity, about $7,000 of equity for every year you own the home. And that is better. That is a step up from renting, right? Because when you're renting, if you're cost burdened with your rent, you're not saving because you can't really afford your rent anyway. And renting doesn't build equity, generally speaking. So if you can step up into a community land trust home, you're going to get an affordable fixed housing payment that allows you to save money. And you are also going to be building equity. So most of our folks that do recently who've sold out of our program have gone on to market rate home ownership. They've taken away a significant amount of equity through their pay down of principal on their mortgage, as well as the equity on their home. So it's a strategy, right, to go from renting to market rate ownership. There's a lot of folks that want to stay in their community land trust home because they don't want to move up to the market because they are close enough to retirement, for example, that they know they're going to have a housing payment when they retire that will work on their fixed income because it's lower. So there's a lot of reasons why you might not move up into market rate homeownership. But if that's your ultimate goal and you can't make that leap from renting to the $700,000 or $800,000 home, this is an intermediate step for you to do that, and to get on the path to building intergenerational wealth. Yeah, it's more affordable and less market rate.
You're muted. Fran.
Yeah, more affordable and less market rate. And we have done this at Village Gardens, and the homes are just kind of mixed in together and they're built exactly the same. It's not like the market rates are fancier or have nicer finishes or anything. All the homes look exactly alike, and you really don't know the difference between the ones that are permanently affordable and the ones that are market rate. Oh, you're on mute, Finn.
Sorry, does that mean that folks who own the market rate homes own the land underneath, so that then when they sell, they're entirely selling the whole thing?
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
they do.
Thank you.
I have a quick question. Are the land trust homes, or I guess the land trust homes where the land trust owns the land, can those ever be sold to like another developer to kind of develop them, or would they be in perpetuity?
They would be
reserved
in perpetuity. Yeah, the ones that are in the community land trust are, can't be redeveloped.
Thank you. And you'll be sharing,
except by homestead. Sorry.
And you'll be sharing more information this coming Saturday at the affordable housing event.
Yeah. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. My understanding is that Lehigh will be participating in that event as well. They're kind of the main show, but we'll be giving a similar update on Saturday. So y'all come out for the prizes.
Great. Thank you so much. So the last person, just to circle back to, if they came back on, was Randy Matheson from Renton School District, but I don't think I see Randy. So we'll push that to our next quarterly. I wanted to just thank everyone for their time this evening, joining on Zoom. I don't believe we have other reports, but please send me a quick message if you have something, or unmute if you're here and wanted to share a quick report. I'll give a moment here.
Then can I share our upcoming World Cancer Day? This is Bridget.
Miss B, of course. Miss Bridget Hempstead, take the floor.
Hi, how's everybody? Thank you. We have our upcoming Sierra Sisters African American Breast Cancer Organization, and we have a free conference coming up on February 4th at Langston Hughes Performing Arts Center, and it's a hybrid event. It's in person, and it's it's in person and it's on Zoom. It's not only national, but it's also global. So we'll have participants from all over. And Finn, would it be okay for me to send you the information for you to send out to the community partners?
Absolutely.
Great. We've had the most world-renowned oncologists and researchers that will be presenting that day. And, for it to be a free event to the community, this is really some life-saving information. And cancer is hitting all of our communities very hard. We need to know how to navigate through a very difficult, complex healthcare system. So thank you for giving me this time.
Thank you, Miss B. We'll definitely make sure that gets added to all of our.
Thank you.
Recording in progress.
I think we heard from everyone who's on Zoom except for maybe Khadija. Khadija, did you want to share anything?
Hi, good afternoon, all. I don't have much to share, unfortunately, but I would always like to remind all that the Skyway Community Van is always searching for volunteer drivers. And let's see. I guess I can share that the program has had at least one trip request a month, so that is good. It's not much, but it is still available in the community. And yeah, I was just on here listening, so sorry for getting in late, but thank you all.
Thank you, Khadija. Great. Always good to hear just little updates about what's going on. So I think that takes care of everyone who's here on Zoom. If not, please just interrupt me. But in closing, I just wanted to give a few shout outs to folks who helped to make this quarterly possible on Zoom. We've got Devin doing a lot of things behind the scenes, from tweeting on Instagram and Twitter and doing the YouTube channel part. We've had Greg monitoring Facebook Live. We have Jeremy as our tech lead, who's helping to do a lot of the behind the scenes work, all things I don't really understand, but thank you. And then before we close, we just wanted to share that
Recording in progress.
2023 year. So welcome to Greg Hunter, who's been on our board, but is now co-president. So we're very excited for him to step into that role. I'm your other co-president, Finn Hardy here. We do have a new secretary as well. Our secretary is Joel Bush. So he has also been on our board and is stepping into the role of secretary. So we appreciate all of his note-taking capabilities and organizing abilities. So thank you. And then we have Devin, who is continuing on as our treasurer, and we appreciate you, Devin. A thank you to Beth as she steps down from being board secretary. So much appreciation to all of your work in that role over the past many years. 2 that you've been secretary, or have you been 4? I don't know. Sorry.
It's been 3 years.
3. Okay, in between. And I think think that's all. So that concludes our community quarterly. And this is a little bit off the cuff, but if anyone would like to write in and email me back on the email I used to invite you all, to just kind of let us know if you're preferring this online format or if there's any urge to regather in person, or what you'd like to see moving forward. So it's good to see you all. Virtually is better than nothing.
Fan, what email should I send it to?
So you can reply just to me to the email that I invited you to the quarterly. Did you get that one?
I'm sure I did. Let me see if I can find it.
Or you can just email me at finn.hardy@mywesthill.org, which I will drop.
I got
into the
that
chat.
one.
Okay.
I'm sure I have them all. Okay. All right. I'll send it in a few minutes.
Great. Thanks.
Thank
Good night,
you.
everybody. Thank you.
See everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Recording stopped.